Hey folks, Reverend Aaron Stockwell here with the weekly update for October 29th, 2020. We're just a few days away from the U.S. election on Tuesday. I'm sure I don't have to tell any of you that is coming up. So here are some things to be aware of in the coming couple of days. First of all is I hope that everyone has made a plan to vote if they haven't already voted yet. I'm not sure when early voting ends here in the city of Framingham or in any of the other towns that you might be watching this from. But if you haven't voted, do make a plan to vote. Voting is a sort of spiritual practice and one of the ways that we live out our value about the democratic process. What else? There'll be 3 different opportunities for centering and grounding yourself. If you're anything like me, I am feeling pretty anxious about the outcome of the election. Not just who is elected, but also about the state of our country afterwards. No matter who wins, there will be division in our country and potentially uprisings or violence. I'm just feeling anxious. So if you're feeling that same way, I think that's normal, first of all. But second of all, there are 3 different opportunities for spiritual centering. The first is on Election Day from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. There will be a bunch of UU ministers who will be holding a space in a Zoom call for spiritual grounding for Election Day. It's a bunch of my colleagues from across the country are putting this together. So if you need that, even if it's just for 15 minutes, I encourage you to log on to that. All of the links for these can be found in the Care Post. And if you aren't getting the Care Post, message the Facebook page that you saw this on, put a comment below on YouTube, and we'll make sure that you get the Care Post. So that's one of the spiritual grounding times. On Wednesday, I'll be hosting right here in the sanctuary, but on Zoom, some kind of Vespers. I'll be hosting these from 1 to 3 and then 6 to 8. You can drop in and stay for as long as you need. We'll have poetry. I'll be reading some poetry. We'll have music. We will have candles lit. We'll have periods of silence and periods of conversation to share what's weighing deepest on your heart. So that's 1 to 3 and 6 to 8 on Wednesday. Those will be on Zoom. And then our Unitarian Universalist Association and Side with Love, our public advocacy campaign, they're both hosting a national vigil on Thursday, starting at 8 p.m. And again, we'll send out closer to the date the login details for that event. We're doing this because uncertainty is something that a lot of us are feeling. And I hope that these times for spiritual grounding give you that sense of grounding. One of the other things that gives me a sense of grounding is poetry. My colleague, the Reverend Mark Bellatini, who served in Columbus, Ohio for a number of years, wrote this poem in his 2008 meditation manual. It's called Election Promises. And it's just a beautiful poem that speaks about what Election Day is. And I'll also be reading it on Sunday morning for the worship service then. So good preview for that service. Reverend Bellatini writes these words. I hear the polls are going to be open on Tuesday all day. Good. I certainly intend to go to them. I certainly invite you to go to them as well. and vote too. But today I say that the polls are not just open on Tuesday. I say they're open every day, every hour, even here, even now. I'm going to vote right now for the right to dream of a world where the word politics doesn't stop me in my tracks, and where the word honor still has a few good meanings left. I'm going to vote right now for the power of free people to actually be free. No matter who they are, no matter who has abandoned them, no matter who hates them. I am actually going to vote for love. I'm going to vote for truthfulness as the norm, not the exception. I'm going to vote for a world that doesn't vote for killing and control and swagger. I'm going to vote for you. I'm going to vote for me. Right now, right here, silently, but for real. The sermon on Sunday is an Election Day sermon. Election Day sermons are an old New England tradition, and I hope to look at some of the history behind them and then give my own version of an Election Day sermon. Now, the important thing to remember is an Election Day sermon isn't about voting for a particular candidate. It's not what I'm going to do. But I'm going to talk about how voting is a way for you to embody your values. I'm going to talk about how voting is a spiritual practice. I'm going to talk about how we continue to work to build a democratic world, because that's one of our religious values. Friends, I hope that you will join us on Sunday or any of the other gatherings that are coming up this week. And if you aren't able to join and you want to get in touch, there are many ways to get in touch with me, and we can find some time to chat either on Zoom or by phone or perhaps in person outside here at First Parish. Hope you're doing well. Be sure to go out and vote if you haven't already. See you around. Bye, friends.